We're going hunting. Alright, we're not going hunting, but we're going searching for capybara. If you don't know, capybara are a giant rodent that lives in South America. I'm here in Florida, and when I'm done driving, I will still be in Florida. So you may ask yourself, why are you looking for capybara? Are you lost? Do you know where you are? These are valid questions. This story, like myself, begins in the mid-90s. Apparently there is a private owner who owns several capybara, and one day several of them escaped. And ever since then, there's been sporadic sightings of them all around Gainesville in Central Florida. Until about 5 years ago. Everything goes quiet on the capybara front around 2018 or so. And I don't know what happened. Did they get wiped out by local predators? Did people who didn't want them around eradicate them? We just don't know. At this point, we don't know whether we'll have success finding capybara and capturing them on film, or whether we'll come back empty-handed. And that way you viewing this video and me creating this video are very much in the same position. We are uncertain, and we don't know what will come of this. But I hope that you'll join me in my search for the capybara. Buddy. Escape while I have a chance. He's chasing us. Where are you, capybaras? So we've been biking here in Paynes Prairie for about an hour or so. Sorry about the bug. I don't know if you can hear that. But we've been looking for capybara along the way. Some of the trails we did were more forested. Some of the trails we did were kind of wider open, more like prairie on the edges of the trail. Haven't seen any capybara. I know that they're kind of a rarity. If they are living here, it's definitely a very small population. This is the state, I think it's called a state park or a preserve. But it's Paynes Prairie, and there's been a photo of a capybara taken in Paynes Prairie. I forget what year it was. I'll put it up on the screen if I remember to. And but Paynes Prairie, I mean, it's like I think it's tens of thousands of acres, the state park. So, you know, going on a couple bike rides, trying to find a capybara is, you know, there's not success guaranteed, especially when there's potentially so few capybaras, if they even still are living here. So we're gonna keep biking. Apparently there's a bridge and like a fishing pier down there going onto this lovely lake behind me. Then we're gonna get back to our van, and we have another trail we're planning to do today. Hopefully there'll be some more wildlife on that trail. Basically my philosophy is anywhere there's wildlife, you know, that's going to be a good spot, because it shows that there's an active ecosystem around, and capybaras don't seem to dislike being around other animals, so hopefully we can find some action. I could have told you this was Gator Waters right here.
Kind of remotely looks like one. It's like a pineapple, maybe.
I just got off my bike and my foot landed right near this weird fruit slash seed pod type looking thing. I have no idea what it is. It looks almost like noni and almost like a cacao. I also have no idea what it is. Let me know in the comments if you do. So, I don't think I got any footage of it, but it started raining right after we finished our trails. It was the, I think it was called the Jackson Gap, and heard something over there, and the Chacala Trail. They were nice, very fun to ride. Like I said already, no capybaras, but we did see some other wildlife. And after the trail, right as we got back to our car, it started raining, so we ended up going to a small like historic downtown that was nearby, and we checked out some like antique and art shops until the rain stopped. Okay, that was bumpy. After that, we rode over to a different entrance to Payne's Prairie. This trail is called Bowl and Bluff. At this location, or on this trail, there's the possibility to see gators, bison, horses. Yeah, right here in the middle of Florida. I'll tell you more about that later. I know it's all wooded right now and foresty, but it'll open up into like kind of a wetlands savanna, I think is a good way to describe it. And that's where you have the chance to see all the different animals, and it seems like somewhat like the habitat that a capybara would prefer. So I'll update you when we get back to that, when we get out to that section of the trail. So, found some horses today. Doesn't look like there's any buffalo out near the trail right now. And we went through the trails in the more wooded section, and we even went through some trails that weren't marked and were closer to where the water was. But no sign of capybara just yet. But seeing the horses are nice. And the sign said Spanish horses. I don't know what that means. ¿Hablan español? I don't think they're Spanish. Well, we're walking our bikes back because there's basically two portions to this trail. Kind of the forested section and this wetland section with sandy trail. Got the horses over there behind us, and yeah, I don't know if this would be a capybara's ideal habitat. They do what do you call it? They graze on grasses, much like cows or horses or buffalo for that matter. So theoretically, where those animals are, the capybara would be able to thrive as well. But no luck here. I saw a couple scats that resembled capybara, but capybara scat is very similar to other grass-eating animal scat, so it's a little bit hard to identify. But we have some more plans for this evening. There's a lead that I got that I will tell you about a little bit later, and yeah, we got stuff planned for tomorrow and the day after that. So it's all based on places where there's been previous sightings of capybara, either pictures taken or just observations recorded. So we'll try all those places and see how it goes. That was definitely maybe a deer or a buffalo or something. A deer or a buffalo or something.
That was big.
Yeah. We just heard a big rustling coming from these trees over here.
Feels strange leaving that thing behind.
Like we didn't get to see it. It's just
yeah, and now it's behind us.
It's gonna follow us out.
Yeah.
Hopefully it wasn't a bear.
There's a deer over there. Look. No, I heard him. Maybe that's what we heard him.
¿Dónde? Oh, I see it. Is that a deer?
Yeah, it is a deer. There's two actually. One just peeked. You see it?
Yep, I see it. Yeah.
It seems like they're chasing each other.
I'll bet you good money that's what we heard.
Oh, it's coming towards us, kind of.
Oh.
Very curious. Must be young. We have oranges.
Deer aren't always friendly.
Oh, hi.
He's hot. He has his mouth open with his tongue. Oh, pobre.
There's the other one.
Going into the woods to go spook someone else.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was them. I mean, it must be them.
Yeah. Oh, and these are all blackberry bushes here. They're probably in here foraging these blackberries. Oh, it talks about the bison here. That's what I read. They were introduced in 1975. 10 bison were brought from Paynes Prairie to Paynes Prairie from the Wichita Mountains. I sure hope we see some live bison. Might be the time that the fish eat. You see how many of them there are?
Yeah.
Probably eating the bugs on the top of the water.
You go, fishes. Get rid of those bugs.
Whoa, he was just hiding right there and just came out. This is awesome. This shows you never really know where they are. We got the gator over here, and then we got the deer. Right. Where is it? Right over there. Stop it. Right over there. Gator. Deer. Capybara, where are you? Oh look, this guy's moving.
Are you trying to get close to us?
Is it because you like us?
I'm sure it's because he likes us, yes.
He wants to be our friend.
Yeah, that's all he wants. He closed his eyes.
He's sleepy. Also, I just heard a big rustling over by those bushes over there. Probably another gator. And we heard another rustling over there a few minutes ago. They're everywhere.
That whole thing of bushes was moving around. When we walk
Yeah.
by it, we should check it out.
Literally just like the scenes in Jurassic Park with the velociraptors. That's ridiculous. So close. To give you an idea of the gator, it's right over there. I can't zoom, but it's over there. He seems chill.
But they can run.
They can run.
Be careful. While there, Joe. Oh, where'd Buddy go?
Oh, there's two.
Get back here. Oh, man.
At this point, we've seen such a nice amount of nature. Like, I don't know, maybe a dozen gators, 2 deer, no, 4 deer, a couple wild horses, maybe like 6 wild horses or so.
Mm-hmm.
A turtle?
Yeah.
Where? When?
I believe it was our first trail.
Oh, that big
Remember
one,
how
right?
He started chasing me.
Yeah, he was chasing you. Okay, we saw a turtle, a ridiculous amount of squirrels. I know, very exciting. Try to keep yourself calm. Already I'm kind of tampering my hopes for the capybara. I don't want to become disappointed. I'm very sensitive. I might cry if I get my hopes too high and we don't find one. So, trying to savor the nature that we found and yeah, really engaging my inner Zubumafu. Really. My wife thought that one was funny.
It's like, are you Sabumafu or the explorer?
I'm the explorers, but I can't remember the explorer's name, but I remember Zubumafu's name. I'm really engaging all the tools that I was taught from a young age from this wonderful program called Zubumafu. If you don't know it, perhaps you're too young, but there's a program, I think it's currently on the air on PBS, called Wildcrats. Same guys, but live action and with this lemur. I think the lemur's name was Zubumafu, right?
Yeah.
The lemur's name was Zubumafu. Anyways, what I'm trying to say is that today's been really nice. We've seen a lot of nature, and I don't want to devalue the things that we have just because we didn't find this one creature that we're looking for. It feels a little bit like we're cryptozoologists looking for the Loch Ness Monster or
Bigfoot.
Bigfoot or Chupacabra. I don't know if he's seen a capybara. Have you seen a capybara, buddy? I don't have any food, but look at my hand. Zubumafu. He knows. Me and my wife have seen a lot of videos of capybaras like swimming with oranges and just enjoying oranges in general. So if you ever saw the scene, I think this is maybe not the first time I've mentioned Jurassic Park in this video, but if you ever seen the scene in Jurassic Park where they leave the goat on the chain and then they come back and like the goat is ripped off from the T-Rex, this is kind of what we're doing here. We're hoping the orange attracts the capybara. Maybe I should like cut it to make it smell. We got our burgers and fries. We're gonna enjoy our dinner, and yeah, this is a stakeout. Well, after we eat, I'll read you a story about why we're here. It's a story from a Reddit user, and it's pretty gripping. I'll tell you that. All right, time to eat. So, dinner's done, and we haven't seen any capybara yet. We saw a rat, I know, exciting, and a little bunny. And we think we saw a deer as well. It was kind of, I couldn't see it. My lovely wife claims to have seen it. No, I'm just kidding. I fully believe her.
I did see it.
But the whole reason we're at this specific parking lot is a couple days ago I put out a post on Reddit asking if anyone in Gainesville has had any encounters with capybara, and if they had encounters, to share with me their story, where they saw some. So one person shared this story. They didn't tell me if I could share their username or not, so I will not. But if this is your story, you know who you are. So, they say, I finally get to tell this story to a wider audience. My friends don't believe me. Unlikely Reddit will, but here it goes. It was right after 11:30 p.m. on a Friday night during the pandemic. It was late enough in the pandemic that theaters were open again, but people still weren't venturing out. Roads were still very quiet. I'd taken my kids to the latest showing of a film, so the crowds and their exposure would be minimal. We were driving home and headed toward 34th from the Butler Plaza Theater. We were on that road that goes beside the Orthopedic Institute. I see something running towards the car, so fast. I stop, and this brown animal runs across the field behind the Ortho Institute, across their parking lot, and across the road in front of my car. We all are yelling, "What was that? Deformed dog, maybe?" My oldest said it was a wild boar. My younger son said a large cat. It definitely was not a cat. It wasn't running the way a cat does, and it was wider/broader than a cat, even a large cat. No tail. Fur looked coarse and was bristled up at the top. I don't think it was a boar because there wasn't a flat snout like a wild pig. I maintain that it was a capybara. I even called the SF zoo the next day to see if there were any other reports. The shape of it, the way it was running, the shape of the face, the coarse fur. My kids don't believe me, so I don't expect Reddit will. But in the quiet, no traffic times of the pandemic, I know what I saw. So, this guy, very thankful, many thanks to him, he gave some pretty precise locations and timings on his sightings. You might remember that I said earlier that pretty much all sightings of capybara stopped around 5 years ago, around 2018, and since then it's been just radio silence. Nobody's heard anything about them, haven't had any new pictures come out of them here in Central Florida. That makes this the most recent report of a capybara sighting, because he said it was late pandemic, so we're thinking maybe 2021, 2022. This is probably going to be the last clip for tonight, so I will see you all in the morning, and yeah. Alright, it is day 2 of the capybara search. We're here at a boat ramp. We have a canoe strapped to our roof that we're going to put in at the water here. I chose this specific spot. It's right next to Highway 75. And I chose this specific spot because of 2 reasons. One is that there is a sort of a heat map of where capybara have been sighted in Florida. I'll probably show you the graphic of that heat map, and so you can see kind of how there's a congregating of capybara in that one specific area. And secondly, I found an old Reddit post in the Gainesville subreddit of someone who actually saw capybara several years ago and managed to take a picture of them. And I'll share that picture with you, hopefully on the screen now. And he was pretty detailed in where he was at the time of his sighting. He said he spotted them several times. He said it was a quiet day. So we're hoping today, it's a pretty quiet day as well. It's a Monday at a boat ramp, so it's pretty dead. And we're literally the only car here in the parking lot. So I'm hoping we can spot some here. The Reddit poster that posted the photo mentioned that they were a little bit skittish, and when he would make a little bit too much noise, they would scamper off into the woods or they would dive into the water. So yeah, and apparently from the picture it looked like several of them were young, babies even maybe. So what that says to me is that there's a breeding population and they might still be around and might still be breeding in these woods. That's a little bit of a weird thing to say, but it is what it is. You can tell it's day 2 because I got a little bit of day 2 chin scruff. So that's how you know the YouTube production is real. That's how you know I'm not lying to you. But the segment is at the end. I might intersperse it in earlier, and that is a lie. So that's that. Anyways, that part's not actually gonna make it to the video, but I'm doing this mostly for Danny at this point.
I wish I could be like, oh my gosh, what's that? And like, see me and then there's a capybara.
That would be such good, like, found footage.
Yeah, that would be incredible.
Like a found footage documentary. Anyways,
that'd be awesome.
I think that's all I have to say right now. We're gonna arduously get this canoe off the roof and put it in the water. There's probably not gonna be any video of that because I'm gonna use both my hands, and I don't have one of those like chest things like for a GoPro or something, and I don't have a GoPro. So I'm probably just gonna see you out there on the water. Bye. All right, well, we made it down this section of the river. It just kind of comes to a T, one branch going this way, that's the main river, and the other branch going that way. And apparently right here is kind of where it goes underground. I can see there's very clearly a flow right there, and it's continuing to go, but it goes underground and pops out at Oleno State Park. So, no capybara sightings yet. We've been trying to be very quiet as we paddle along to not scare them off. And the only real wildlife we've seen so far is one alligator. We haven't seen any capybara, haven't seen any deer, anything else. So we'll probably head back towards where our boat launch was and maybe continue a little bit in the other direction just to check that out as well. See if maybe we can have some more success over there. So back into the boat we go. There was some poop here on the ground that looked to be a little bit like it could be from a capybara. Not sure exactly, because like I said, their poop looks very similar to a lot of grass-eating animals' poop. So, not quite sure, but it's the right spot for it, and I don't know if anyone would have horses around here, so yeah, could be capybara scat right there. So we got back from the kayaking, or canoeing rather, and strapped the boat back on top of the van, and we were quite warm, quite hot from all the paddling, so we came out to a nearby spring, nice little swimming area. You can see I'm right here on the river, but they have a little sectioned off area with a spring coming out of the ground. And it's nice, it's refreshing, it's just really tranquil. Me and my wife were alone in the springs for a little bit until the family came. But, yeah, no capybara as of yet. But when we were on the river, we did see, a couple rustlings in the woods, and we would go real slow and quiet and try to see if we could see something, or we heard a couple different noises coming from the woods that we couldn't quite identify. So those could be something. We also saw the scat. The scat looks quite a bit like capybara scat that I've seen when I've looked up pictures on the internet, which is a thing I've done. Could it be capybara scat? Yes. Could it also be, you know, could someone be bringing their horse there to those little beaches and riding along the river there? That's also a possibility, I guess. So no way to really say definitively, at least no way for me to say definitively, if you know, there's evidence of capybara there. But yeah, just one more little short half day before we're heading back home. So will we find one? I don't know. But I sure hope we do. And but if not, it'll be okay. So anyways, I hope you will continue to join me for day 3. Bye. Alrighty, we're here on day 3 of our capybara search. This is the same area where we were having our burger and fries in the dark that one evening. That was day 1, right? Day 1. And there's kind of a little woodsy area that we were kind of looking into, trying to catch a glimpse of capybara. And then we saw there was a little trail, so now it's daytime, we decided to come down and have a look. You can see where I'm looking, there's tall grasses. Would potentially be just the kind of thing that a capybara would like to hide in. Also back there apparently is a little creek, so that is potentially somewhere they could be hiding as well. And you can see right on this little trail next to that parking lot we were eating dinner at, there is some game trails. I don't know if it really shows up on camera, but right through here you can see there's a little game trail. And also, if you walk back with me, right here there's a very matted down area, and you can see, if we kind of come in closer a little bit, you can see there's a trail that goes through there, and to me that looks like exactly what a capybara would create as they're trudging through these tall grasses, those sort of lower tunnels through the grasses. So could it be a capybara? Yeah. Could it be raccoons or something non-capybara? Also yeah. So again, we don't know, but this is some evidence that there is wildlife activity here, and this is a place where capybara have been sighted, so this could be the smoking gun of the capybara. But we checked out everything we can here. The trail down there becomes impassable and just too tall of grasses, so we're going to go try to check out another area and see if we can try our hand there. Alright, let's head out. Kind of has that like 3-finger look to it. And you see there's not a lot of distinction between the fingers and the non-finger area. That could imply a webbed foot like capybaras have.
It does.
Possibility. I wish there were capybara, but I'll take a deer. I'm pretty curious. I'm glad I was quiet enough when I was walking that I didn't spook them. There they go. It's a pretty deer. Well, we've reached just about the end of the video and the end of our trip, the end of our search for the capybaras here in Central Florida. And we're here at one of the most beautiful places that we visited on our journey. It's just a very short hike. I think it's maybe 2.5 miles, and it goes along these wetlands. You look down into the wetlands and see gators. There's actually one quite hidden right behind me down there. It's the place that, of the areas that we visited, I felt the closest to nature. There were places where we were able to see wild horses or what have you, but here there's something different about it. When we were walking a little bit further down the trail on the first day, we walked by a gator that was just out sunning, and we could get as close as we dared to that gator. It feels unprotected. It feels wild. By unprotected, I mean we feel unprotected. We feel in danger. We feel vulnerable to the nature. I don't know if you can see, but the rain is slightly pattering down. You can hear the thunder in the distance, maybe. This trip and this moment make you remember how indifferent nature is. Nature doesn't care that we're here with the rain falling on our heads. Nature doesn't care if I'm standing here trying to record a YouTube outro. This gator doesn't care. You'd eat me all the same if you could. And nature doesn't care if we came here to find capybara and we didn't find any. Sometimes I want to give nature some semblance of ethics or morality, or to view creatures as human or as bending to our will. The reality is so different. Just listen to all the bugs. You hear thunder in the distance. I just heard a fish jump out of the water. And it doesn't care that we're here. It doesn't care that you're here. The cycle will continue. So although we didn't find any capybara, it was still a trip where a time where I felt the opportunity to get very close to nature, where I got to see things and be in environments that I'm not usually in. It was very enjoyable. So as you saw, we went on a number of trails, we went kayaking, we were looking all over for capybara. The reality is, there's tens of thousands of acres that we were searching for these capybara, and it's just me and my wife. We don't have trail cams to multiply our efforts. We are just two people out here looking for capybaras, and we saw some vague, suggestive evidence that there may be still capybara around, tracks that looked as if they would fit to a capybara foot, or scat that looked as if it was the right shape, the right texture for capybara scat. So, are they still out here? Simply no way to say. I hope they are. They're very cute. They look very friendly, and I sure would like to find one. And I sure would like to come back here and look for more. But for now, there's simply no way to say if they're still here or not. But you've seen the evidence that we've seen. I will share with you everything I can and that I had access to in my search for the capybara. You can let me know. Do you think the capybara is still here? Have you experienced seeing one? Have you heard of people sighting them around Central Florida? Let me know. I guess it'll be down here in the comments. The mysterious place. If you enjoyed this video, and if you feel passionate about capybaras, or if you like watching someone aimlessly pursuing capybaras, or if you would like to see me look for capybaras again, leave a thumb on this video. Press the subscribe button, I guess. Those are things you can do if you want, I suppose. Anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you the next time I'm doing something weird and pointless.